Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today I am talking about one of my most favourite things in ARK over the last 11 years, and I'm sure that might not be a popular opinion because I know it wasn't that popular, but it is returning in literally about a month and a half time, and I just am really excited for it. We're going to be talking about what's changing with this version, and we're going to have a little bit of a throwback and see some of the features which we had beforehand and talk about how they're changing within the new version. And I'm really looking forward to this personally. Like, I feel like there's a chance. This isn't developed by Studio Wildcard. It is developed by Studio Sirens, which is still worrying because of the whole ARK Aquatica launch and everything like that. But with this being a smaller project, something different, this is meant to be like kind of a live service, you know, survival of the fittest battle royale mode with different progression and stuff, which is what we're going to be talking about. I think there's some possibility that this could be good. And I haven't talked about this as a standalone video, so we're going to do that. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe. Let me know if you are going to be trying this out when it does launch, because I would love to know that in the comments. And let's give it a watch. So some upcoming features before we watch this of this updated version of Survival of the Fittest is when it comes to the Survival of the Fittest reboot, Jeremy the CEO admits he's not directly involved as it's Studio Sirens project, but he does reel off a long wish list and features and improvements based on Wildcard's previously flawed attempts he passed along to the Studio Sirens team. And there's good news, he says. They're doing all of these things, he says, on the wish list. And these are some elements such as meta progression, a reason to play beyond just beating an opponent and climbing a leaderboard, and background matchmaking to reduce lengthy wait times for lobbies, and a general refinement of the competitive sandbox. Now, the only way that this will be successful and don't have long wait times is obvious. I know, again, you guys are probably sick of me saying make it a standalone game, but they just need to have standard matchmaking. Don't like stop it from a game being able to start. You just need, as they said, the background matchmaking is what was needed, because in the last version you just generally couldn't find a game sometimes, and having to join separate servers isn't how Battle Royale works. It just doesn't work, that whole thing. And they go on to say, I asked why Sirens and Wildcard and Parrot Company Snail Games are so keen in reviving Survival of the Fittest given its past struggles in attracting and retaining players. And Jeremy said, I want it to be an option if you just want to fight your dinos fast and maybe get more used to some of the fighting mechanics of the game and learn which dinos can do with what as well. Basically, he just wants it. He thinks it can really benefit ASA, and he really thinks that mode is a big part of it when it comes to the fighting side of things. I just think it's been destined to be popular for so long, and they've taken 10 years to try and get it to that stage, and it's been such a shame that it's never had the love that it deserves, and being a standalone game. So these are the new features, right, that we had before. So the island was revamped, which was really cool. I really liked the way they did that. Also, you can name your tribe as you load in. This is the lobby. You can apply paint. I don't know who remembers waiting in these lobbies. And these lobbies were painful, really funny, but painful because literally no one was playing. But there was randomized match starts. Look, it had its own battle royale ring. The bosses were around, and you then hopped out. And you had obviously your tribes and the players that were left in. Obviously players that shared loot when you open loot drops and stuff, and then you could loot the stuff quickly from there. And I really hope they keep the same idea of what they did with the dino XP and leveling, because basically you had to like get a certain amount of dino levels from attacking other and killing other big dinos, which you could use to put into points for your other dinos. I thought it generally was so fun, like addictive. And I'm not just joking when I say addictive, it was very addictive. And look, then you could tame that, and then you'd attack it a bit and stuff. You get the points, and then you could bet it would be a very quick tame. And then, you know, you tame it straight up. And basically put in... And so you basically then can put in these levels here. So you see how they've got 637 points here? These points will be applied to your dinos to level them up. And if you can see here, small in the corner, it says level 3. And that was the max that you could get. There was level 1, level 2, level 3. And I think just the start of the dino as well. Level 3 dinos were so OP. Like, you could potentially get around on a Thyla at level 2. But once you had a fully leveled level 3 Thyla, it was so OP. It was so OP. And I really hope they keep that in as well, because I used to have a little bit of a tactic. I don't want to already share my meta. It might not be the meta when it launches again, but it was ridiculous. And then as you can see, the zone would come in. You would see the bosses as well, and you can tame the bosses. They were a lot harder to actually attack, and you'd have to like take down the bosses to be able to tame one. Ping system, very useful, so you could ping where your new tame is and where a loot drop is. Generally, guys, a very good mode. Like, it deserved to be popular. It just didn't get the love. Convert tamed dinos to tokens. So you could select them and convert them to the dino tokens, because you might not want them anymore, and you can use those dino tokens to level up the dinos you do want to have. Here's the tameable bosses. Everyone would be fighting over them, literally. And I never used to go for the bosses. The reason I never used to go for the bosses is it generally... So people would win with the bosses. They would. Like, it's not like they would just ridiculously overpowered to the point where it would win every game. They weren't. Because one, they were slow. And two, people found ways of taking them down with multiple dinos. And stealth was a very good way of winning. Token-based fast healing, so you could spend your tokens from killing other dinos around. If you fully leveled it up, you could heal up, so you could actually take down some of the biggest dinos, and you can heal. As you can see, it was so clever. I just don't understand why this RTS mode as well that got added in, so you could actually control via the RTS mode to attack. I never really did that much. I probably will do if the new version still has it in. You could control just the dino, which I thought, for me personally... Wait, if I'm correct, was that when you died, or... No, just dino possession. I don't recommend this, personally. I never did that. I prefer, because you don't know if your survival was going to be safe. And then obviously randomized Ring of Death at the end. And they used to have some really good end points. I got stream sniped quite a lot when I did this. That was a big problem. And I know that's a big problem with all Battle Royales. But I used to stream this every day. Which might sound crazy to some of you. I'm sure you'll remember. Some of you might remember it. And then obviously it would show you once a tribe got eliminated, it would show you at the top like the Hunger Games, and the winner would be lifted up to the top, and that was it. And it was a huge battle. It was great. It was generally fantastic. And they said new prototype now available on Steam, and it just sadly didn't. Look at the reviews. Look at the reviews. Look, I mean, this over time, 73% of the reviews, Survival of the Fittest was good. It just needed to have the promo, and it needed to have the love. Now, I want to mention, of course, you have every right to be skeptical of this. You do. You have absolutely every right to be skeptical about this Survival of the Fittest DLC, because, well, I say DLC game mode, because Snail Games, Studio Sirens, it's all just been a mess. It has. It's all just been a mess over the years. And you know, with Aquatica, I completely understand why people would be feeling strange towards this, but this now in front of us is the final final chance at making Survival of the Fittest what it could be. And to be able to do this, they have to make sure they make all the right steps. I know I've mentioned it again at the start of this video. If they don't make this a standalone game, I don't think it will be popular personally. Everyone that plays Ark Survival Evolved, Ark Survival Ascended, they play it because they play the survival genre of Ark. They don't play that game to play a battle royale. If they want to play a battle royale, they will play another game. So it comes down to making it a separate game, giving it a really awesome release trailer to make sure that it comes out there and it gets some promo and stuff like that, and making sure that it's addictive and people want to go into the next game just like how Fortnite was. As they've mentioned in this new post, you know, being able to add in some actual meta progression and a reason to play beyond just beating an opponent and climbing the leaderboard is again the reason that will want people coming back. This could potentially be a money-making area for Studio Wildcard, Snail Games, and Studio Sirens if they pull this off, because in the future that's when you can start releasing battle passes and skins. And as much as that might sort of make you guys feel a bit sick me mentioning battle passes and skins, at least it's not pay to win content. That's what I've always felt towards skins and battle skins and battle passes, is that it's not anything that, unless it's like a ridiculously OP skin that, you know, happens in some games, it's not, you know, people have an option to pay that. It's not going to better your gameplay, and that is why I think it could end up being quite a good thing for Ark. But it's launching very soon. We don't have a release date on it right now. There is a community crunch coming tomorrow. Will there be news on it? Maybe, maybe not. I think it's basically just a guess of when there'll be a random... I don't think there'll be an announcement trailer. I think it will just be a launch trailer. But from today until the end of March is when this is meant to be launching. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. I look forward to hearing more about this in the coming weeks, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.